Hi everyone. When was the last time that you were interviewed for a job? Believe it or not, most of us have only looked for a job a few times in our lives. Fast forward to today's current job market environment, one that includes company closings, downsizing, and layoffs. And what you have is an employer's fantasy, an employer's dream, an overabundance of job seekers applying for the same job. That means that competition can be fierce for only a few positions. So you say to yourself, well, I'm not shy and I'm a pretty good talker. That will help. But while a job interview is like a social conversation, it will require a lot more than just great verbal communication skills. The successful interviewee must set the proper stage and prepare in advance for the job interview in order to achieve the ultimate goal, and that is to get the job offer. We sometimes think that going on a job search will get us an interview, but believe it or not, the interview is the hardest thing to get. Some people apply and they never get an interview. So here you are, you, the inexperienced job seeker, the interviewee. You have a major dilemma. How can you increase the likelihood that your name will appear on the top of the employer's list of top applicants? You must increase your knowledge of the job interview process. And a perfect research tool for doing this that I found is a book called The Interview Manual, Interviewee Prespective by Dr.Jaballa M.Hasan. The job interview manual that Dr. Hasan has written provides a practical guide for today's job seekers that gives step-by-step instructions on how to prepare for and navigate through the interview process and to ultimately land that dream job. This is a very reader-friendly book. It covers the job interview process from beginning to end, and it gives advice on key points in the job interview process, such as how to research the employers thoroughly, how to reactivate networks for information and advice. It tells you how to observe etiquette and to dress properly for the interview. It also tells you how to handle stress, how to communicate appropriately, and how to listen effectively. Dr. Hasan gives us a few job search do's and don'ts. By all means, do start your job search with a plan. Do establish goals, whether they be ultimate goals or immediate goals for your job search. Do network with professionals in your chosen field, and take advantage of college professionals in your alumni association and in the placement offices. By all means, be flexible. This is a tight job market. So also consider temporary or survival jobs while you're waiting for your career job to come up. Now some don'ts. Don't limit yourself to only one avenue to finding a job or to searching for a job. In other words, don't simply do the internet search. Post your resume online and let that be it. Use multiple technologies. Don't undermine or underestimate the importance of career networking. Don't allow your frustration, your ego, or even bad economic news to wreck your focus. Don't give up. Hiring cycles are long in this kind of employment environment. So follow up regularly with people that you've already applied to continue to let them know that you're very interested in the position. In the job interview manual, Dr. Hasan reminds us, you never get a second chance unless you make a good first impression. A well-written resume is your foot in the door for further consideration by potential employers. Without it, as I said previously, you may not even be invited to have an interview. The manual provides a breakdown on the resume's components. It tells you the optimal length for a resume, the kinds of text you should have there, required information, as well as how to format a proper resume. He talks about the 3 types of resumes and provides multiple examples in the book so that all you have to do is follow the examples. Do remember to tailor your resume specifically according to the job that you're applying for. That means that you won't use a canned resume for every job you apply for. Make it specific to the job, this particular job, and it will be a winner for you. Now, one point that you should remember is not to ever send your resume without a cover letter. The book makes it easy, and there's a whole section devoted to the cover letter, how to write it, and it gives you a lot of samples, so it's very, very easy. Even the mature, long-term employee, someone who's been on a job for a long time, may find themselves in a position where they're applying for a promotion or they want to move in a different area. So they have to learn new technologies, and this manual provides invaluable information on how to practice public speaking skills and how to rehearse for your job interview. I wish I'd had this some years ago when I went on the job interview for the job that I have now. I could have really used a section on how to answer questions that a job interviewer, any job interviewer would ask you, and how to develop your questions ahead of time, because they're always going to ask you some questions. Do you have any questions for me? And so you don't want to come up with a dorky question. Dr. Hasan gives you some good questions to ask. While other job interview books fall short in teaching interviewees how to calm their nerves, how to accentuate the positive, and how to behave professionally, the job interview manual gets pretty specific when it comes to the do's and don'ts of interview etiquette and attire. This is very important, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a melting pot society, all different cultures, and we all have a different tastes. Basically, ladies, don't wear your club clothes to the job interview. Don't have toe rings on every toe. Gentlemen, you're not going to die if you have to wear a suit for about 15 or 20 minutes. There's some things that you didn't know maybe about an interview that this book will help you. For instance, did you know that arriving too early for an interview could be a deal breaker? Did you know that the receptionist could report to the interviewer after you're gone that you removed your hair curlers and dressed in the car in the parking lot? Yes, the interview process starts even in the parking lot. Do you make eye contact when you're nervous, or do you look away anywhere else but with the person that you're talking with? These are some of the things that the job interview manual will give you some tips on how to have the right body language, how to relax, how to smile, and give a firm handshake. Remember to always keep your cell phone off, because that receptionist might just tell someone that you got 6 calls from the Harris County Jail on your cell phone while you were in the waiting room. So you don't want that to happen. Remember to be on your P's and Q's from the minute you hit the job site until you leave. After the interview, the manual keeps on giving with detailed guidance on how to handle the critical post-interview phase. Dr. Hasan gives tips on how to write a thank you letter as follow-up and samples to go along with that. Now, we all know that success does not always come on the first attempt. So Dr. Hasan has included a section on how to handle rejection. That gives the reader encouragement and direct guidance on how to regroup and stay in the game. So in conclusion, I would encourage you to get the Job Interview Manual, Interviewee Prespective by Dr. Jaballa M.Hasan. This is a must-have for all students or any job seeker who would like to master the knowledge and skills necessary to prepare for the next job interview. It will give you a newfound level of enthusiasm, self-assurance, and it will ultimately lead to the declaration that you can make and say, hey, I got the job.